All right, Repo Man 64. I think I forgot to turn on the camera. Hold on a second. Where do we go here? Look for the camera. All right. Here we go. And I got it on that, so I got rid of the X thing. All right. I have to stay on this in order to see the chat. I don't even know how many people are in here. There we go. All right. I wish I knew how to keep the chat on when I had this on. Oh, there it is. Okay, I can keep it on. All right. You seeing what's going on in the news? Everybody's talking about it. They have gone into, is it Syria? And started to bomb. So we're seeing everything. Hey, Sister Sandy, we're seeing everything going down now. And, we don't need two pairs of glasses. I am never going to give you a 100%er. Not going to do that. We're going to keep looking for these high watch days, just like we're supposed to. And let me tell you this. Amos 3:7 is perfectly clear. If you think for a second, this little channel of 20,000, when there are literally millions of people that are going to go to heaven, that this little channel is going to give you the date, then we've been misinterpreting what the watcher's supposed to do. We're supposed to keep giving you high watch days, and you're supposed to go into the Bible and study for yourself to see if any of it is going to happen. So I've been out here for an hour trying to get the new Wi-Fi up and running. Hey guys, hey Brett, how you doing? God's Land Down Under is in here. Chi-Chi's in here. Richie Rich, how's everybody doing? Watch Lady 2017. Is that when you started watching? It was 2017 with the Revelation 12 sign. So much happened in 2017. We had the Revelation 12 sign. Trump made Jerusalem the capital of Israel. And then we had the, what was it? The solar, was it the, we had the Revelation shows the solar eclipse, I believe it was. Three things happened. So Amos 3:7 is abundantly clear. I, nor any other channel, I don't care what they say, if they were sent by God to personally deliver you the date, it's pride that's saying that. Nobody is going to tell you the date. God is going to tell us. Amos 3:7 didn't say, I'm going to tell Repo Man, and then he's going to tell you. None of that's true. Anybody that believes that is prideful. It's pride, and I'm not that prideful at all. I'm so ecstatic to be a part of this as we all watch. I'm so ecstatic to have so many subscribers watch with me. Can you put a link to the Discord? We have nearly 1,800 people in the Discord, and so many are coming in there, and trust me, I read it all. I just don't have time to respond. But so many come in there with so much information. It's staggering. And there are just the biggest group of watchers, not just me here on YouTube doing this. There are so many others working so hard to see this. And again, like I've said so many times in the past, Amos 3:7 God is going to tell all of us. It's going to be something that happens that will blow our mind. It will be incredible on that day. Let me get to the timeline. I'm not sure if I can bring this up together or not. Let's see here. All right. And I'm not sure how big I can get this. Let me see. Oh yeah, I can get big. Okay. Now, it's kind of blurry. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Let me see if I can bring the camera back up at the same time. I can. Let me see if I can minimize it so that I'm just in the corner here. There we go. I got rid of the little blue square. I figured out how to get rid of that. All right, so we're over here. It's really blurry. I don't know why it's coming in so blurry. I don't know where to go. Let's see here if I can go somewhere else. There are my pictures. I don't know where they. Let's see here if they're in here. Nope. Sorry about this. I had brought the timeline over from Sister Sandy. She fixed it, a lot of stuff, and I brought it over, but it's blurry, and I don't know how to fix it. Maybe, hopefully, you can see this somewhat. I'll bring this back up and put it over to the side here. And I can't see the chat. Let me see if I can get over here on YouTube and see the chat. Let's see, home. I don't know if I'm in here or not. Let's see here. End Times Talk. I don't know why Lisa Boyce, I think End Times Talk put Lisa Boyce on there, or I hit the wrong button. Yeah, I don't see me. Can somebody send me a link, and how do I find that? Oh, in Discord. Send me a link in Discord so I can get on to, I'll go in Discord and look for the link so I can get on to my own thing here so I can see the chat while I'm doing this, because I want to respond to what everybody's saying. Let's see here. There we go. Thank you. Yep, here we go. Oh no, that's somebody coming into the server. Where would I find it? You gonna put it in my room? Somebody send me the link to YouTube into Discord so that I can look at the chat while I do all this other stuff. Hi Stella Blue, how are you? There we go. Thank you. There we go. Let me turn the volume down because that'll be annoying. Live chat. All right, here we go. I'm gonna have to put the glasses on. Brett is here. God's Land on. It's always nice to see you. I love your channel and everything that you do in there. That didn't work out. There we go. And there we go. Okay. All right. So you can't quite see. I can't even see the dates. I don't know how to fix this. I have no idea how to fix this. Let's see here. I wonder if I can. I thought I had a good copy. Looking Up is here. Hi, how you doing? She has a. Man, that's the thing. Like I was saying, is we all kind of work together. Let me see if I can get this camera to go down a little bit. We all kind of work together. Looking Up has a Facebook and a YouTube, and she brings all of the high watch days together. Again, none of us should have any pride whatsoever in this search, because at the end of the day, Amos 3:7 will be fulfilled, and he will tell all of us. He's not just going to tell me to tell anyone else. But as we go, it's like going on a long trip across the country to a destination, and the most fun you have on the way to that destination. You shouldn't be rushing all the way there. You should be enjoying everything as you go. And that's what we're doing. We're learning more about Jesus. We're learning more about the Word of God as we try to study this and get to that point. So let me see if I can do something here. I'm going to take this picture. I'm going to resend it to myself. Let's see here. Upload to. Hold on a second. It's doing it now. I want to get a clearer copy so you guys can see all the dates. I found something really interesting. What is this saying? Error. What kind of an error do I have? I don't know if I haven't. Is everything working good still? Good evening from Shenandoah County, Virginia, USA. All glory to our King and Kings forever. All right. All right, let me go over here real quick into the email. I couldn't get on Bible Hub. It wouldn't let me on there. So hopefully, let's see, is this just now? No, that's not new. Oh, here it is. Sorry, the internet, I've had so much trouble with internet since I moved. It's unbelievable how bad it is out here. Let me let that finish uploading. Let me get back to the chat. Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm out. Chi Elizabeth Brown. It depends. I mean, Discord, our Discord's really cool in that it, let me see if I can, it just looks blurry. I don't know why. It just looks blurry. Let me see if I can pull it off here. I don't know if I can download it. There, that looks a lot better. Okay, yes. How's that? Is that clearer? That's much clearer. Okay. All right. All right. Here we are. I guess you guys don't need to see my face. I hear I look like Al Bundy. I'm definitely not Al Bundy. Although I will say you've never seen me and Al Bundy in the same room, so you never really know, right? All right, sorry about the pump. I still don't have the Bluetooth hooked up, so that's going to be loud every time they do something in the house with water. All right, where are we at right now? So remember that we read about the red horse amongst the myrtle trees, and we've learned over the last, and Gina says I've been doing this for 5 years, we've learned over the last 5 years that every time we see a date, it's a stepping stone. We start thinking, it's 100%. It's going to happen. Remember that back on Kislev 24. Oh, it's going to happen. Oh, no, it's a month out. And we went to January the 8th, and it still didn't happen. It's because God is giving us a roadmap. We're on a trip, and we're on our way, and we're learning as we go. These things that we've learned, we didn't know this stuff before. We're learning. The information's coming to us here lately, so... All right, where are we at here? We are at, we're coming up on February the 7th. This is where the Bible talks about the 11th month and 24th day. They saw the red horses among the myrtle trees. Is this another stepping stone towards the rapture? I still think that the rapture has to happen by March 16th. At some point in here, I believe, now that's just what I believe, I'm not giving 100%, but a super high watch day over here is March 16th. Now, Patrick over at End Time Watchman, he's working on this, and I have he hasn't made a video in a week, and I've been waiting for one to come out, but I have a feeling he's working on this. 11:11. We saw 11:11. We've all seen it. And it's not just that we looked at our watch at 11:11. We've gotten receipts. We've gotten all kinds of stuff showing 11:11, right? It just kept coming. Numbers, we see it all over the place. And I have a feeling that that just meant that we were supposed to look at something that occurred equally. So I found all this, and I asked Sister Sanders if she'd help me out, and she did. She put it on here. Now, there are some events that take place. On January 1st, this is where Mary goes to see her cousin Elizabeth, and John the Baptist leaps in the womb. The egg, she is now 7 days pregnant. This is the point where an egg travels down the tube and attaches to the uterine wall. This is the moment of life began back here on Christmas Day. But here is where even John the Baptist, being 6 months old in the womb, recognized who Jesus is, right? So we count 30 days from that moment. and we land here on Tu B'Shavat, the Festival of Trees, which will occur this year, which is kind of cool, one day out of place, because it must happen 30 days before Purim. So January 29th, January 30th, January 31st, plus I'm sorry, I said that wrong, February 29th. But because of it turning to February 29th, January 30th would be the day of Festival of Trees. We've passed that. So we've gone from John leaping in the womb 30 days to the Festival of Trees 30 days. Now, 30 days after that must land Purim. But this year, because it's a leap year, it will land on February the 29th because it must occur 30 days before Passover. Okay? Now, I noticed this when I was sitting down. Hi from Kentucky. How you doing, Cheryl? Pauline, great analogy, Mike, but are we there yet? we are trying to get there, trust me. Whoops, I don't know what I just did. Oh, there we go. Whoops. I don't know what happened. It won't go up there. All right, so when we're looking for the 11:11, something that happens on either side the same, I want you to notice that from when John leapt in the womb, when Mary traveled to see Elizabeth, it took her 7 days to get there, you will land on March 16th. All right? Something unique happens in this year. You guys can go into time and date. There's an extra day because of February the 29th. Normally, there would be exactly 150 days, and we've seen this 150 days before. That 150 days God speaks of, that from 150 days from the day the flood began, which on this timeline, it never changes, and we have it at October the 31st or November the 1st. Now, because the Bible is abundantly clear, 150 days later, it must land over here. This is why I'm so adamant about this timeline, not because I'm so smart, but because it follows the letter of the Bible. And the Bible says 150 days later, the waters began to recede right there. That's the cross. The 150 days after the flood, it must land on the cross. That's what the Bible says. Then, the 7th month and 17th day is when the ark rested. The 1st month and 17th day is when Jesus rose. It was super clear. This is where we reverse the curse, right here. So when we continue on, you come back here before, and we go with 30 days from Purim, just like the Bible teaches us, or up. I think it's Jewish law, but it's 30 days before. Actually, it is in the Bible because is that Esther? Anybody respond to that? Let me know that. I believe that's Esther's story where they had it happen on the 14th of Elul, and then on the 14th of Nisan is where we have the cross right here. Now, that's 30 days. So if you count backwards 30 days, it has to land on February the 29th. And you see this happen only in this year, this space right here, this 11:11, this moment in time where it's out of place, it's out of time, it's a hidden day, it's a kaseh, okay? So when you count forward 75 days, you will land on the day that Moses ascends into the mountains. The same day Jesus ascended, it's Shavuot, and it is 153 days from the flood. You can see as we go forward. Listen, if you are using a timeline, and I don't care what timeline it is, I'm not even trying to make this timeline right by any means. But if you're going to use one, you got to be biblical with it. You have to go 150 days after the flood. So if they say the flood happened November the 11th, that would mean it's 11 days later. That would mean Jesus went to the cross 11 days later, still Nisan 14, but it would be what? It would be April the 10th. let's say April the 10th right here. And this is what happens to me when they say, oh, the flood started on November the 11th. I say, okay, well, April the 10th would be Nisan 14, right? That would be the day that Jesus went to the cross. Oh, no, 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 no. It couldn't be April the 10th because the new moon did this and did that. I'm sorry, but the Bible's very clear. 150 days after the flood begins is when Jesus went to the cross. If your calendar doesn't do that, if it doesn't do that, then you're on the wrong calendar because it's clear that it's 150 days. And if you're using the new moon, it will never land 150 days later. Therefore, we're going against what the Bible teaches. So, it's not if, it is going to happen this year. He died in 30 AD. There's always that year window. We've proven that he went to the cross. And we proved that not because I did by any means, but we proved it because 40 years later, exactly 40 years later, the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. So Jesus went to the cross in March 30th, 30 AD at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, which would have been March 30th, 4,030 years from creation at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4,030 years after creation. So I have been working on this timeline for 5 years, and every single time, and I get so much information in from people and timelines, every single time I take a timeline and I add it to the timeline, it falls perfectly in place. So we have those 30 days, Jesus on the cross. We have another 30 days, second Passover. You and I both know that second Passover happens exactly 30 days after the cross, IR 14, for a man on a long journey or somebody that's touched a dead body. April the 29th. Exactly, because March has 31 days. It's 30 days. It's April the 29th. So I counted another 30 days, and this is the day Jesus ascended. And this is what I had Sister Sandy put on here. And when you count, and again, it's a very unique, this happens every 4 years. But 4 years ago, it wasn't the year of the rapture, so it didn't really mean anything. But I put these, if you count 30, 30, and then half of 30 is 15, which is 75 days, you wind up with this extra day being March 16th. And that's what I was trying to get Patrick to look at. End Time Studies, you can get this timeline there. That's what I was asking Patrick to look at, saying, hey, Patrick, guess what? 11/11. And that's what was so incredible about what we're seeing here. And, I mean, how does it line up so perfectly? 30 days, 30 days, 30 days to Passover. It lines up perfectly for this day right here to happen. All right, let me get back into the, let's see here. This is, and this, how's this? What is this? Oh, I got the message thing up there, and this. All right. So, yes, Brett's looking at Esther again, Esther. I got into trouble because I'm saying Purim instead of Purim. I just say it like I've heard it before. Yeah, I seriously would caution listening to anyone that tells you God sent me to tell you this. The thing is, what makes anyone so special? The bride is all here. We're all learning. We're all watching. We're all trying to figure this out, right? And we're all working together. And I wouldn't even have this timeline if it wasn't for Sister Sandy. I had a crayon one, and she put it all together, and every time I have an update or a change, she's has always been there to change it. I think she's on the opposite side of the world, so we don't exactly line up. What time is it there, Sister Sandy, where you're at? Please give please. I should give the video a thumbs up too, right? Here, let me go do that. Let me give the video a thumbs up. There we go. All right. So, does anyone have any questions? Is there anything that you know of, any numbers or any dates that would contradict. I welcome anybody who could contradict the timeline, who could say, well, and I get it all the time. And it's never, there's never any research. It's always somebody who goes, it's the new moon. The new moon cannot work. It will not work. There is no such thing as a moon doing anything as far as the year starting or a month starting. It simply doesn't work if you count those, if you abide by the Bible and you count those 150 days. And listen, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about when I started the timeline. It just simply said, well, I know the first of the year is March 17th. I went into several sites and they're all like, it's March 17th. And then I put this timeline together. And over the last 5 years, I've just put, and trust me, I was more than happy to ignore the timeline if it would contradict the Bible and throw it away. But, and you saw me, if you look at my videos from 2 years ago, I was very apprehensive, very conservative with talking about the timeline until I found verses like 150 days later, and I counted it, and I'm like, if you start the year on March 17th, Nisan 14 lands on March 30th, and if you count 150 years from the flood, and it lands on the same day, then you've got a good timeline. You've got a good calendar. So if she must be done. Hold on a second. I want to play something in the background. Let's see here. Last days are here to the Watchman. I love listening to End Times Talk. If you want prayer, I'm not good at praying. I really am not. I lack. See, that's the thing about the bride is we're all here to help each other, and I do. I lack in prayer. Some people he can just rattle off a prayer for you. He said a prayer for me and made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I just knew the Holy Spirit was in the room while he was praying for me. I think his name is Josh over at, where did I do here? Where do you go? End Times Talk. A really good guy right there. Don't have anything bad to say about the guy. He's watching, and his strong point's not timelines, is it? Mine is, and then but his strong point is prayer. So he makes up that part of the body, and that's what I look for is all the parts of the body that will help. So Pastor Jimmy, I believe I got into his and I don't like. I won't go. I'll go in and ask questions, but I won't go in and enforce my ideals on anyone else. I really did enjoy. He did a lot of work. He did a very good video. He put together, and I'd never heard of the guy before. I've never heard of him before, and I subscribed to him, and I look forward to his videos. I would only disagree with how he starts his year, and we were in there chatting a little bit, and his year starts at the equinox. And again, the equinox will work. It will work. However, when you use the equinox, Jesus will not be conceived on Christmas Day, and Mary will not visit her cousin Elizabeth on New Year's Day. For me, that stands out. New Year's Day will not land on St. Patrick's Day, the Green Day. We all know what the Green Day means. So I lean more towards the equinox, but I am always looking 4 days after the dates that I find. Let's see. Rapture Heads, yes. Chris Scully, thank you. It would be simple. The thing that I hear people saying that is incorrect is that there are 365 and a quarter days in a year, and there simply aren't. There are only 364. What they do as the Earth goes around the sun, they return it to the point of pointing at a star behind it, and it's always it attempts, but it can't do it, to take away the story of God by doing that. If you look at the story of God and you go from I have the worst memory when it comes to Pollux and Castor. What is that? That sign with the two guys up there. if you go from that, you just see the entire story play out. And again, if you start your year on any other day than March 17th, you will not have the sun appear to be going through the water of Aquarius. I don't know if this computer will allow me to open. Let's see if it'll allow me to open up Stellarium. I don't know. We'll find out now. I'm having, again, internet trouble. We're going to have to switch companies because the company we're using is just too slow. It's not working. Gemini, thank you. Yeah, it's not going to let me. It's just the internet is just too slow out here. So I hope I didn't just lose my image. No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. All right, let me get to the chat and see if anybody has any questions. That's a cool number, 333 in here. I was literally out here for an hour and a half trying to get the internet to work as good as it is right now just so we could do this. Oh, it's saying I have no internet. Am I not on? Oh, there it goes. Okay, we're on. Yeah, pride is what killed Satan, right? That's what destroyed Satan. Pride. I'm special. I'm better than everyone else. I'm going to be the one to do this and do that. And it destroyed him. You know, he was so pissed off. I don't even know how else to say it. He was so pissed off when God made man and found out that man would rule over the angels. He was so mad. And he caused all of this. He wanted to prove to God, and he still does. He still thinks he's going to win. He does not. The light, the darkness does not perceive the light. He does not comprehend salvation. He does not comprehend what Jesus did. He still thinks that he's going to drag us all down there with him because he made us sin. We are all destined for hell. That's our destination. But accepting Christ, that free gift, it's so simple. Once that blood is on you, you can't get it off. This new thing running around that you've got to do some kind of work or you got to be some kind of way. Listen, if you're truly saved, you're going to be some kind of way. If you are really and truly saved, you are going to change. There is no, oh, I have to work at this every day. I've got to make sure I do this. I can't say that. I've got to be this kind of way. No, you all know it. You all feel it. You've conquered things that you could have never conquered before on your own. You suddenly have this new power to look at a sin that you couldn't live without before in disgust. And you know that happens to you, you know? Let's see here. I wish I knew how to leave the chat on top. I'm looking at my phone though. Let's see. If I could open up the Bible app, I would, but I can't until I can get this internet fixed. I don't know, just in his very name, Messiah 2030. I don't know. I don't know why he would say 2031. I believe that there is a 75-day, and that's another 7. You know, Abraham was 75 years old when he went into Canaan. There are 75 days difference between this timeline and the head of the year on March 16th. 75 days from January 1st, which is where John leaves from the womb, all the way over here to March 16th. And then I just recently discovered, and Sister Sandy put it on here, that 75 days after the new year, this gap happens only in a leap year, and we land on the day that Jesus ascended. This is Ascension Day right here, May 30th, Sivan 15, and it falls exactly 30, 30, 30, all the 30s, and the very center of all these 30s is right here on March 16th. Yeah, everybody's seeing the 11/11. Hello from Colorado. Salida means exit, right? You know that. Salida means exit in Spanish. I don't know if you knew that. Let's see. At the end of the day, I can stand up here, and that's what our job is. Let me see if I can. Nope, that didn't work. I don't want to make it that small. I want to make it. Let's see here if I can do this. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Let's see if I can get this chat back up here so I can see it. There we go. And put that back up there. Okay. All right. Oh, well, what I was saying, Amos 3:7. Look, he's going to tell the body. What does Amos 3:7? I will do nothing except that I tell the prophets and the saints first. He's going to tell all of us. He's not going to tell me to tell you. I've been saying that for years, and people were like, well, then why are we listening to you? You're listening to me because I'm giving you high watch days to look for, something exciting to read, something to study, something to contemplate as we reason together. We come together because we're the body, and this is ultimately when we get to heaven, we're all going to live with each other for eternity. So I think we should all get along, and we should all work together, and we should all try to figure this out together. I think that any words said here might just follow you to eternity where, oh, there's that guy. But still, he's going to go to heaven because people believe, right? That's salvation, is accepting that cup and what's going on. So it's changing behind me. I didn't know what it was showing. 9/11 all the time. 9/11 is the day of creation. That's why you see 9/11. That's the very day that creation began, September the 11th. It is a cassé, it is a hidden day, right, Brett? That's correct. That's what happens only every 4 years. We have the 16th that kind of falls out of time. It's kind of hidden because, and I was saying that before I got sidetracked, there are actually only 364 days in a year. There are 24 hours in every day, but your clock is showing you 24, but it is actually going through 23 hours and 56 minutes. They're reserving 4 minutes a day, and over the course of a year, that is a day and a quarter. You can go look that up. Anybody can look that up and see that. And that's where your day and a quarter comes in, and that's what they're doing. And I don't know why they've done it. I think the Earth, they're doing something where, as the Earth goes around, it's got to point back at this star rather than back at the sun, or some effect. I'm not quite sure why. Let's see here. I know Ken Johnson. I'm familiar with Ken Johnson. I believe he uses the equinox to start the year. And again, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with any calendar that will go 150 days from the flood to the cross. If it does that, I will pay attention to that calendar. If it does not do that, we are going against what the Bible teaches. So I will not follow that calendar. Let's see. Rapturo. So Spinebreaker he had me do a video for him, and he believes that due to Psalms 124, the rapture will occur in here, 2024. And obviously, when he said that in 2023, we thought he was wrong, but I still made the video because he's my friend, and I wanted to put his information out there. And it turns out that it did not happen in 2023, right? So we are here in 2024, and we're seeing all the stuff. I mean, we're watching TV, we're seeing all the stuff go down. We did not expect it to escalate the way it is right now. Iran is something you don't want to fool with, I think, and they are now, and I don't know. I think Iran's gonna do something crazy. There's some crazy people over there. So we pray for them. We don't like war. We don't want war. But the Bible tells us that there is going to be this war. So therefore, we're caught in a catch-22 where we're kind of looking forward to it. It's like going to the races. You don't want to see a car crash, but you don't want to miss it if it happens, right? Let's see here. Stay away from anything to do with pride. We are not special. Independent, we are not special. Together, we are the whole body. Jesus is the head, and we are the body. And he is about to bestow upon us, just like I said before, you got a king, right? A king goes out, and he sees a fair maiden, and she works on a farm. And she's feeding the horses and everything else. She doesn't even have money for shoes. And the king takes her. He cleans her up. He adorns her in the nicest clothing, puts jewels around her, and she returns to that village. Do you think the villagers are going to say, you were just feeding the horses last week? No. They're going to bow down to that girl, that bride of the king, out of respect for the king. They are going to respect the king, and now they're going to follow the queen. She is now, everything that he had is now bestowed on her. And she has all of that, and that's what we're going to have. Not because we're great. We are not great. We have some serious flaws, but we're going to be made perfect. We are not in 2023. No. With the Gregorian calendar, remember, is counting. It actually came into existence. I don't recall when. The Julian calendar came out, and they were off by 11 days every so many years. It was bad. It wasn't right because they were counting incorrectly. This calendar came out, I want to say it was 500 AD. This calendar came out and took over the Julian calendar. So anyone looking at the Julian calendar, you have to know the history of the Julian calendar. It was wrong back then, and it's still wrong. So a lot of people are like, well, God might still be using, and I'm not going to say anything about what God might be doing, quite frankly. Iran, possible retaliation. Are you kidding me? They're going to retaliate. So, no, we are in 2024. But we are still in 5783. When God said in Exodus 12, this now is the head of your year, he didn't turn it back a random number. He turned it back exactly 182 days, 6 months, exactly. When Jesus was in the womb, he was in there a perfect 40 weeks. He did not cheat by coming out one day early or one day late. It was perfect 40 weeks. If you count from Christmas Day, you will land on, and again, when I looked at the timeline, and I just put it on there. I didn't know how it was going to land. Again, every time I found a new date and I put it on there, I was like, is it going to land right? I don't even know. I'm going to have to throw this thing away if it's wrong. And so I put it on there. Lands on Tabernacles, Feast of Tabernacles, perfectly 40 weeks to the day. And I'm like, this is impossible. How does this keep happening over and over again? So, let's see here. Yeah, we're still in 5783. We will be until March 17th. On March 17th, it will become 5784. So when you see Psalms 123, I believe it's pointing us to 5783. And when you see Psalms 124, I believe it's pointing us to the Gregorian. That's why you see a rapture verse in Psalms 123 and you see a rapture verse in Psalms 124. How do you have two different rapture verses? And then we also have to consider that the bride is going first. And for the life of me, as I study, I was reading the thing. For the life of me, as I study, I cannot see the saints being stuck here for 3.5 years. I know the two witnesses are running around for 2.5 years. And it might be that the 7 churches, if we're Church of Philadelphia and all 7 churches are going to heaven, it might be each church goes during a different seal. And if the first seal is opened right away, we might see this great multitude. And it might be that, a cataclysmic event occurred to kill them. It says if anybody who doesn't receive the mark accepts Jesus and doesn't receive the mark goes to heaven. I mean, it's good news, right? That's good news. So let's see here. Yeah, I can hardly wait. You're so right. New Jerusalem is already built. I mean, Jesus has been building it for some time now. And imagine that. He spoke the universe into existence, and built everything in 6 days, but he's spent 2,000 years building our mansion. I mean, it's going to be so detailed. You're going to walk into the room and everything you could possibly imagine is going to be right there. It's going to be stellar. It's going to be unbelievable. Let's see here. Yeah, think about that. Was it Isla? Isla? Feast of Trumpets is the head of the year, right? That's what they say. But they ignore, and this has happened so many times, they will ignore Exodus 12. Feast of Trumpets is no longer the head of the year. It is moved back 182 days. The Rosh Hashanah, the new Rosh Hashanah, is on March 17th. What happens if, and we don't know because the Bible wasn't specific, but what happens if that's also the head of the year Feast of Trumpets and it moved back? So many people, and I've heard them, they're very strict about it, and I've heard really good teachings on it has to happen on the Feast of Trumpets. It can't happen. I'm not even going to look until the Feast of Trumpets because I'm not wasting my time. But what if Exodus 12 meant to move Feast of Trumpets back to March 17th, 182 days? What happens if March 16th is in fact our last day here? It is the 11/11, 75 days before it, 75 days after it. It's something serious to think about. Yeah, I know. Can you, my baby blue, you're right. Can you imagine that we are that generation? I am in awe of that fact that we're here now learning the things that we've learned. Yes, it has already happened. He's out of time, so he already saw the end from the beginning. He knew who would accept that cup and drink of it. He did not choose anyone to go to hell. I heard somebody say that, and I was just like, where in the Bible does it say that you were chosen? You were born to go to hell. Everyone is offered that cup. You had to turn that cup away in order to not go to heaven. It is not that hard to go to heaven. You are being offered a cup. I would say that most people here that are watching have accepted that cup and drank from it. Let's see here. You've studied for many years. What is it? CJL 716. My studies through the years of Judaism, Hebrew, was feast number 1 in the beginning of the year. Yes, not the fall feast. What did Kevin say that was deep? Oh, yeah. Brett's back up. God's Land Down Under. Please go subscribe to his channel. He's on the other side of the world, over next to the ice shelf on the other side. Sorry, I tease. Yeah, I agree, Brett. It's like the 150 days from the flood. I don't care what calendar you're using. It doesn't matter. Ask the question. Is the cross 150 days after the day you say the flood is? And if they say no, then it's not a good calendar. It's that simple. Amazing time to be alive. Yes, John 3:16. March 16th, the day at a time, the Kaseh, the most popular verse in the Bible. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever, and I love it when Man, I'm the worst with names. I really am. Watch Woman 65. I'll just say that. Lisa Boyce. There we go. I love it when Lisa Boyce says, I am a whosoever. We are all just whosoevers. We are not amazing yet, but we're going to be, but we're not amazing yet. The amazing thing is that we saw this and we took that cup and drank from it. And that was that simple. Salvation is that simple. You can't lose it. Once that blood gets on you, it doesn't come off. You can never lose your salvation once you have it. End of story. And then I heard something else. People are saying, I got into a discussion. I didn't know what was happening. Somebody was saying Jesus is God. He is. He's the only one. No, there are three: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. The Bible clearly teaches that. Jesus, but all three are one. So wrap your mind around that. I wouldn't even try to figure that out until we get to heaven. Let's see. What's the next high watch day? I get into so much trouble, but I will show you the next high watch day. February 7th is the 11th month and 24th day, the day that the red horse is seen among the myrtle trees. February the 11th is also a cassé. Let me show you that. Right here. Let's go back down here. Last year, I asked Ecro Symphony to work on something for me. She has a YouTube. I don't know that she's made many videos as of late, but she found the sign of the Son of Man in the stars, and it occurred, and I don't know if it occurs this year as well, or if it was just last year, on February the 11th. February the 11th is the exact center of these three feasts right here. It lands right here, right off to the side here, which would be Shavat 28, which I don't find Shavat 28 in the Bible, but I find it as a center point between these 3 days. 90 days, it would be 45 days in from the day John leaps in the womb. So that's a high watch day for me. A high watch day for me would be February the 7th, February the 11th, and then right here, Purim. Purim is also a center day. It is a cassé as well, because this year it's a leap year. It will not land on February the 28th. It will land on February the 29th. It'll move one day, just like the Festival of Trees moved to January 30th. This will move to February 29th. It is also a hidden day. So Purim is a very high watch day. All right. Knowing this is not, let me say this on camera, just to make somebody mad. It is not a salvational issue. You know what when you rail against it is not a salvational issue, you are railing directly against God, because there is only one salvational issue, and that is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever shall believe on him shall have eternal life. I'm paraphrasing, but that is the most important thing, and that is taking that cup. It's not knowing the date of the rapture. It is, once you're saved, like I said, you'll know it, because your heart will change. You'll start putting that away, and this will become the most important thing in the world to you. The studying and the trying to figure this out will become the most important thing to you. And that is proof of what you are and who you are. So, knowing the date of the rapture, and again, I'm not going to be able to tell you the date, because God's going to tell you. He's going to tell all of us. We're going to turn around one day, and Damascus will be leveled, and that will be a huge sign. There'll be earthquakes that take off all around the planet, just going nuts. Just before Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, Abraham was up there on the hill speaking with God 6 different times. And on the 7th time, the angel showed up in Sodom to take Lot, his wife, and daughters out of there. His wife, everyone says, goes to hell. She didn't go to hell. Got something on the screen right there on my forehead. You couldn't see that, but it was driving me nuts. She turned around. She did not go, she's going to hell. She did not go to hell. She is the salt of the earth. She turned to salt. She is a tribulation saint. She escaped hellfire, and now she turned around because she still was in love with the world. She is a part of the sleepy church. She is a tribulation saint, and that was what was supposed to be taught there, was that. Oh, what's going on with my hat? It's just hanging weird. Okay. So the ones who went to hell are the ones that were in Sodom and Gomorrah. So we see this again in Enoch. You'd have to read extra biblical books on Enoch, but there's a story that people came to Enoch and said, Enoch, there's this horse riding around in the sky. What's going on? He's like, oh, that horse is up there for me because I'm about to leave. And so there was this pre-warning. And then you have Elijah. Elijah told how many people as he went from town to town. You don't hear any words from Elijah. You hear the words from Elisha and the townspeople telling him, don't you know that today your master will be taken away? He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But he wasn't taken away that day, was he? He went to yet another town, and this same conversation took place. Yeah, okay, whatever. He still wasn't taken away, and he went to another town. You see what I'm saying? He had been warning people that it was going to happen. Then finally it happened. And the sleepy church was very close behind. Elisha was very close behind. And what happened? He got a double portion, right? He got a double portion, so that was good for him. He was left here, but he got a double portion. Who else? Who else was taken? Philip was taken. He was just transferred over to like on the other side of the state, for example, or country. Who else? Every single time we see a rapture event, we see a pre-warning. The same thing's going to happen for us. Amos 3:7 must be fulfilled. I will do nothing lest I warn the saints first, and that must be fulfilled. All right, let me go into my pictures to see if I have something in here to talk about while you guys do the chatting here. I told you about the 150 days. All right. Let's see here. Gloria Shaleen. I can't show you any of their YouTubes. I just have to tell you their name. She's brand new. She's just starting out, and she's doing some YouTubes. It's really cool. I just want to promote her channel. I believe that the passage that says women should not teach is misinterpreted terribly. Women don't have to go to war. They don't have to. They will never be required to go to war, but they can if they want to. Women are not commissioned to teach, but I think they can if they want to. If they couldn't, then why did God have 5 different prophetesses, or 5 or 7 different prophetesses in the Bible? Come on. You know, I mean, that's just harsh. So Gloria Shaleen, Shaleen, has a YouTube, and she's just starting out. So go subscribe to her, show her some love, let her know that what we're doing here is learning together, and maybe she, with her 9 subscribers, will be the one to get us even closer to the rapture date than anyone else, you know? Let's see here. Hutching and praying. Yep. God's an honor. Good morning. Yep. Yeah, I love Brett. He's like me. You will find me in the chat room of a lot of the lives as we go through. The reason is because I'm looking for a nugget or a piece of information to add to the timeline, or something somebody found, something very interesting that I could check up on. 6 days before Passover. Let's see, triumphant entry. I said that. I showed that. I talked about that. 100. Oh, on the calendar, if you want, you can go into time and date and punch in January 1st to May 30th. May 30th being Ascension Day, and it's for 2024. It will show 151 days. That extra days in there, and for 2023, you can punch it in. It'll show you 150 days, just because of we have a leap year this year. Let's see here. Yeah, I showed you that, talked about that. Trying to remember everything I talked about. Hey, did you guys, behold, did you guys notice this? I found this, and I heard people saying it so many times, and they're like, the how do you call let me see, the veil in the temple was torn from top to bottom. How many people know that the veil was torn from top to bottom? Well, it wasn't. Not for us. It was cut in the midst. It's the weird. Luke is the only one that discusses it being cut in the midst. In the midst is March 16th. It's actually the middle of the 275-day periods. It's in the midst. And so if you look up in Matthew, you will see, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent twain from top to bottom. And then you go to Mark, and the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. And then you go to Luke, and the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. Why does it change? Why doesn't it say top to bottom? Why is this in Luke telling us something about the midst, the 11:11, the same event on either side? So you see something, there's something there that we are supposed to study and figure out. And in John, it doesn't talk about the veil at all. Remember, there are only two groups going to heaven. There's the bride, and then there is the sleepy church. I think they're going in different segments because there are 7 churches, and I think we could call ourselves Philadelphia. Either that or we're completely excluded from those 7 churches and we're just the bride, and then the 7 churches come along after. I heard a really good teaching. I forget who it was, and they taught that oh, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. They taught that that the bride is separate from the churches. I don't know if it's true or not. I just heard him saying, I'm like, that's kind of cool, that we're completely set apart, completely different. And then they have the 7 churches arriving, and then the Church of Philadelphia would be removed prior to, it'll be a rapture. They would be raptured. Everyone else would be gathered. It's cold out here, so I'm sniffling, sorry. All right, let's keep going. The 4 and 20th day, which is coming up here, February the 7th, here in just, what is it, a few days? Let me see, yeah, here in 5 days. We find that in Zechariah 1:7, on the 4 and 20th day of the 11th month, which is the month of Shabbat, in the second year of Darius. Find that curious that it's in the second year. It's almost like February the 7th, right? And it would show up 4 and 20th day, comes up February the 7th, and we see the myrtle trees and the red rose. And again, this might be a stepping stone. This might or might not be the rapture. I don't know. Australia has music? I did not know that. Just kidding, Brett. Don't get mad at me. William Pierce. I'd show you, but it just doesn't work on here. William Pierce, Pierce. He's doing a very good job on his videos. He just made a video called 10 Days of Tribulation. It was very good. Again, another part of the body, inspecting and trying to study this. None of us have all the answers. None of us were sent specifically by God. I think there's about 153 million of the bride, and then a great multitude that no man can count that's going to show up in heaven. I can assure you, a channel with 11,000 subscribers is not sent by God to give you the rapture date. That's just pride. That's straight pride. I wish I could say, God sent me to give you the timeline, and this is when it's going to happen. I wish I could say that. I just can't. I can't take that kind of credit, because I really believe that Gigi over Blue Heaven is going to say something that's going to catch my attention that I can go in and look at. You know what I'm saying? Or Brett's going to say something, or William Pierce is going to say something, or there's so many of these people out here, and we're going to work together and try to figure this out. That's super important to me, that when I get to heaven, when you get to heaven, that we're best friends, and that we're so happy that we're there together, and that we work so hard here, and we wound up there. Love. Yeah, William Pierce. There you go. There's his. Hey, you know what? Maybe you could put links up there when I say their name. Kevin Stein. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Why did I do that? Let's see here. Oh, the return of the Son of Man as found in Luke 21:25. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations. This is in Luke. So again, Amos 3:7 will be fulfilled by God himself. God himself will alert the bride, and we will be. Oh, William Pierce is in here. Hey, buddy. There he is. Um, and Amos 3:7 will kick in, and we will be galvanized. I will be on here. William Pierce will be on here. God's Land Down Under will be on here. All of us will be on here going, did you just see that happen? Did you just see that they attacked Iran? Do you know what that means? You know how close we are. All these things that we're seeing show that we're close, but then there's going to be that one cataclysmic event that says, this is it. We're going now. We have it. And it happened on this day. And then one of us is going to go, my calendar was right. It happened on this day, so therefore we're going on this day. And it's going to fall perfectly into place. Maybe mine's wrong. Maybe it is the equinox. I don't know. But I do know if it's the equinox, you've got to show me that the flood didn't occur on October the 31st. And all of the entire world that views October 31st, November 1st is wrong about the flood being on that day, which I would find very difficult, that it actually happened 4 days later on November the 4th. Yeah? I've never heard anybody say the flood started on November the 4th, because 150 days later, you must land at the cross, because that's what the Bible says. So, again, Amos 3:7 will be fulfilled by God. All right. End times talk. Right there. That guy. I think his name is Josh. He did a prayer for me. Say, I'm not a strong prayer. I go to him for that. And we go to each other for our weaknesses, and my weakness is prayer. And he said a prayer for me. I'll tell you, like I said, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I couldn't believe it. He's an amazing guy, and he's does a really good. There's Watchman River right there. Can you guys see that? No, you guys really can't see that. He's awesome. There you go. Something about the light in here. I don't know why it does that. It's just weird light. I can see it normal when I turn around. Maybe it's too bright. Maybe I should turn it down a little bit. So King's commands. There you go. I like that chosen penny. The 12th month, 13th day. Yeah, that 12th month and 13th day. Did that turn out to be Purim, right? I said Purim, but Purim. There you go. Yes, Sister Sandy, thank you for putting their YouTubes up there, because I am a promoter of the YouTubes. I will never tell you not to listen to one of these guys because they said something that didn't quite. They're going. You know what they're all saying? All the ones that I subscribe to, that once you're saved, you're always saved. They're going to say that Jesus Christ is God Almighty. They're going to support Israel 110%. I hope that Israel goes in there and cleans house for what those people did to those children. You know, all these people that I talk about are of the same. We're all of the same mindset. Now, every now and again, you get somebody in here that that will say, "Once saved, always saved" is from the devil. No, it's not. Once you're covered by the blood, I can't even contemplate that. You won't understand that once you're covered by the blood, you're always covered by the blood. All right. Josh muted me. Don't know why. I don't know either. I can't. I will not. I don't like dictating what other channels do. I kind of backed out. You know, I was backing the one guy there for quite a while, and it wound up biting me in the butt. It was a mistake, and it's a lot of pride involved there. And pray for him and feel sorry for him. Yeah, I believe he's going to heaven. If he's saved, he's going to heaven. He just has to look at all of us when we get there and explain why he would tell everyone to, don't listen to that channel. I would shut that channel down. If I were that channel, I would shut my own channel. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I always promote other channels. I'm a firm believer in all of us are the body, and we got to work together. And each one of us has a part of this, a piece of this puzzle, and we all have to work together. I can't force everyone else to agree with that or believe in that, but I certainly do believe in that. And as you go to the others, like I said, I just found this guy. Where's he at? Let's see here. End Time Watchman. You want to put his YouTube up there. Patrick, I love Patrick's channel, and he is a numbers guy like me, and he's researching, and he's the one that led me down the path to look for the 1111. And when I did, I had Sister Sandy. I can't even, I have to have it on a timeline for me to even understand what I'm looking at. And when she put it on there and I looked at it, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is awesome, Let's see. Alligator Pulse, yeah. And again, I don't want to dog his channel out. He's he loves the Lord. He loves searching. I just can't fathom what he's doing. We all have a piece of the puzzle. You would think after 30-something years of being a Christian, he would know better, but he just doesn't. He just thinks he's the only one, and it's a shame that he's going down that path. I'm not the only one. I love the Lord. Jesus Christ is God Almighty. Once his blood covers me, it covers me. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And all this other stuff is not a salvational issue. I'm just trying to figure it out. And if I'm wrong, I'll learn about that when I get to heaven. God is not going to be mad at me for trying to figure it out. He's not going to be mad at me if I was wrong, any more than you would be mad at your 2-year-old kid for putting his finger on fire. You'd be like, whoa, what are you doing? That's hot. And let the kid learn. But you're not mad at the child for doing that any more than God will be mad at us for trying to figure this out. He doesn't say anywhere in the Bible, don't try to figure it out. Yeah, I mean, he actually put down Watchman River. I just don't. I can't. I just can't. I had to unsubscribe. I can't contemplate what he's doing. I just don't understand. It appears that he gets worse every time one of his dates pass, and I don't know why. He does this when his dates. He won't do this when he has a hot hot date. When he has a high watch date coming up. Well, he calls it 100%, and obviously that was wrong. I would never call a date 100%. I will call it a high watch day. I've had many over the years a high watch day. And as I went forward, the timeline just filled in, and it just meshed together, and it proved itself as I went along. All right, so Patrick, where are you at? This is the guy. He's really soft-spoken, really nice guy. He actually spoke to me. He held a live, but it was pre-recorded. I'm not sure how to do that myself. That would be really, I guess I have when I played a video of me when I couldn't upload the volume. I guess I've kind of done it that way. But Last Days Awakening, I don't know if you guys could put a link to him. Last Days Awakening, his timeline is different than mine. I will promote him. His timeline's different than mine. He is in direct contradiction to my timeline. I love the guy because he loves the Lord and he's trying to figure this out. And there is nothing wrong with that. And I will never go up against him and tell him, why aren't you looking at those 150 days? I simply won't, because he has so much more content than simply dates. And I have so much more content than simply a timeline. Look, the timeline that I put out there is the life and times of Jesus, and the times that Jesus spent here and the things that he did, I feel are very important to show to people that even if you slide it down and say it's the equinox or it's the first sliver, it doesn't matter where you slide it. The increments, the dates, or the times in between. Thank you, Sister Sandy, for that. Last Days Awakening. Now both pumps are going off. Somebody's in the house taking a shower. Don't they know I'm broadcasting out here in the secret broadcast cave? Take a shower later. Sorry about the pumps. I will try to figure out the Bluetooth and get it to work, because I got to imagine this is annoying on your side. So anyway, like I said, different timeline. I don't care, because he has so much more to offer than a timeline, just like I have so much more to offer than a timeline. All right. Again, I pointed out the calculation from the Revelation 12 sign, September the 24th being the first day after the Revelation 12 sign, 6 months, sorry, I do that every time, 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days will land on March 30th, which is the cross. I think they're going to do something. The Jews are either going to sacrifice on that day. I know we're looking at April the 8th, right? That's 9 days later. They're saying April the 8th is Nisan 1. Of course, I disagree with that, but they're saying that it's Nisan 1, and that's fine. I say March 30th is Crucifixion Day, and April the 8th is 9 days later. Something is going to happen. We'll be gone. I don't think we're going to be here to see that. I don't think we're going to be here past March 16th, personally. But I think they're going to sacrifice those red heifers over there. Remember, that's why they went in there and did what they did. We found out later that they went in there to stop that sacrifice from happening. They did not want Israel sacrificing that red heifer, so they went in there to try to get to the red heifers, and they failed. Of course, they couldn't get that far into Israel to get to them, and I have a feeling those red heifers are very well protected right now. And so when are they going to sacrifice them? Are they going to do it on true Passover of March 30th, or on the Passover that they think it is on April the 8th? I don't know. I don't know. And again, we'll find out when we get there, right? We'll find out when we get closer. All right. Now, from February the 28th to April the 8th is 40 days. That's pretty incredible. I heard that. I think I heard that from Gadaman or from Aaron. I think I heard that there. I don't recall who said it, but 40 days after Purim is April the 8th. That is astounding. That is huge. You know, something is going to happen to where they sacrifice those red heifers. And I would wonder, and remember, they don't have to sacrifice the red heifers on the altar. What they're doing is spreading the how do you call the burnt, the dust? What do you call that? I'm terrible with that. The ashes. They're spreading the ashes of the heifers on the altar at another date. They don't have to do it at that moment. They don't have to spread the blood. They spread the ashes. So they could sacrifice the red heifers on Purim, and then spread the ashes 40 days later on April the 8th. And April the 8th, as we know, is the huge eclipse that's going to go across. And I think they said that there's between, I think I heard this from Brett Gazandana, I think. I watch so much, honestly, probably giving credit to the wrong person or not giving credit to the right person. I'll probably do that all the time. But they're going to spread the ashes. That solar eclipse is going to cross over cities that are named, I think, Nineveh. It's like 7 or 9 of them. It's incredible. And you just can't make that stuff happen. You can't make that stuff up. So something huge is going to happen between Purim and that eclipse that's going to happen. A lot of stuff within those 40 days. So we'll see. Maybe the rapture happens on March 16th. Maybe it happens on Purim of February the 29th. Maybe it happens in the center of it on February the 11th. Or maybe it happens when the red horse rises on the 11th month and 24th day, which is February the 7th. So we have a lot of high watch days coming up. Which one it is, I don't know. I think you could study the Bible for hundreds of hours and have hundreds of papers in front of you of your studying, and you're still going to get the date wrong until God decides to tell us, like he promised in Amos 3:7. And he's not going to tell one person. He's going to tell all of us. All right, let's keep on going through it. Eric Rickman, Ryckman, you could put his up there. He did an amazing study of the sign of Jonah. Now, he believes the seals are opened. I am in disagreement with that. I will promote his channel anyway because he has so much more content than just thinking that the seals are open. Eric Reichman, Ryckman. If you could put a link to his, he has got some really good videos on. He's only got 38 videos, but he's done an amazing job on his videos. I think that if I were to talk to Eric, I would say, Eric, even though you see all of these signs happening in the white horse, the red horse, and all the different horses, and it appears as though these are seals that are opened, the seals are not opened yet. This is a precursor to what we're going to see during the tribulation, and God is simply mapping it out. He's typing shadow, and that's why you're seeing those things. Thank you very much about that. That's William Pierce. Eric Reichman. So I would just say, Eric, there's no seals opened yet. Nothing's happened yet. We can't be here when the first seal opens up. There you go. You found him. Thank you very much, Sandy. We can't be here for the first seal to be opened. We just can't. It would go against what Jesus did on the cross. It just can't happen. So we won't be here for any of the seals. But he's found that, again, you'd have to go watch his YouTube, that this has all happened through all of these, and he's associating them with the seals. And I think it's just a precursor. So let me see who else I have on here. Somebody sent me a comment, and I thought it was noteworthy, so I thought I'd bring it to you in Facebook. Jennifer Trull, Trull. She doesn't have a YouTube as far as I know. She said, I feel as though he has come back to us 2 times and found us sleeping, each time represented by 2,000 years. And the third time, 6,000 years. So what she's saying is 2 days have passed, and in the third day he's coming back, that Jesus has come here before, and each time he's not found us. Yeah, exactly. Toy Soldier 67, they have 40 days to Nineveh. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta, maybe, I don't know. I've never asked anybody for a dime. Nobody's ever given me a dime under the table, over the table, around the table. I've never asked for anything from anyone. I would never do that. I thought about making a joke and say, hey, could you please go into my Cash App that is not listed on there, because I won't do it. I can't, because my information that I give has been given to me, I feel, by the Holy Spirit, and I just want to share it. God bless those channels that are helping other people and accepting money to do it. Bob Barber, God bless Bob Barber. We can stand here and talk about any pastor, huge pastors, got mega church, and we can say, oh, that's just terrible. But I promise you, when we get to heaven, that mega church that we talk so bad about, they have had altar calls, and you don't know the heart of the person that has walked up to the front. It doesn't matter that they have a mega church and they're flying in they have 7 different jets that they fly for each day of the week. It's none of our business, honestly. A lot of people were saved by those, and that's why I won't even judge them, because I don't know how many people. I might get there and 3 people will walk up to me and go, man, it was because of your channel I'm saved. And then I see Phil Osteen over there, and he's got 10,000 people. It's because of your altar call that I walked up to here and accepted the Lord. Even if Osteen had didn't have a pure heart in doing that, those people still came up because of his altar call, if you see what I'm saying. So we can't really judge anyone, you know? Yeah, Kevin Stein, you're saying that April 8th be Nissan 1. I agree with Israel. Yeah, and I don't. And the sun has moved from Aries from when Jesus spoke that back in 2,000 years ago. It has actually moved to Pisces now, and it'll be going through Aquarius during the 1,000 years. And that only happens if you start the year on March 17th. But that's just me. That's just what I see. All right. Oh, I have Amos 3:7 up on, and it says, "Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets." Okay? That's God telling all of us, not me. Those people who say, I have no mathematical skills whatsoever. I have no, both pumps are going off again. This is great. I have no ability to recall things. My memory doesn't work, all this different stuff. You've seen my memory fail on here 100 times. And are they left out somehow because they're not quite as smart or can't figure stuff out? And the answer is no. They're all a part of the body, and as such, they're going to see this event take place, and they're going to be like, "Okay, wow, yeah, I know this is coming now." You know. Sorry, it's cold out here. I'm getting the sniffles. Let's see. Revelation 3:3, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. Repent means to turn to Jesus. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. That is not making a clear statement as to those who are not watching, that they are not saved. It's simply stating that if they're not watching, they will not know what hour. There's probably a lot of the bride who's not watching, but they are chosen, and they will be going to heaven, and they just won't know when. And I could imagine that the bride exists all around the world. They don't have access to the type of information and what we have access to here. You know, like that new YouTube that I found. Never heard of him before. He has more subscribers than I do. I'm shocked that I'd never heard of him before, and got in there and watched his channel. I was amazed. And there's pockets like that all over the world. God's not sending me to give you anything. There's probably some other person in China right now with the same timeline that he's worked out, and we would never see him. And when we get to heaven, we'll meet, and he'll be like, "Hey, look at you! You had the same timeline I did," you know. Let's see. It says, "Did I know that February 14th to March 24th is 39 days from Valentine's Day?" So what is March 24th for you? What does that mean for you? For me, Lazarus died on the 16th. He was resurrected 4 days later on the 20th, and Jesus had a meal with Lazarus on the 24th on my timeline. Rock Island Books changed they came up with something that blew my mind. In a Jubilee year, everything must be given back, right? So God is going to take this planet from Satan and bound him up. In a Jubilee year, in 3031, Satan will be released, and his people that follow Satan will be given back. It's also a Jubilee. I was like, that was mind-blowing. But then he kind of changed the way he was looking at things. He changed his idea around, but that's fine. Does anyone have any questions? How long have we been on here? What time is it? Is it like 3 in the morning? Oh no, it's 10:30. Okay. Let's talk about that for a second. Why would you want anything from earth? Because God said so. He said, "I go to prepare a place for you. And if it were not so, I would have told you. So I will come and get you and receive you unto myself." Just like the Galilean wedding, the man goes and adds on to his father's house. It's the same thing. Our mansions will be added on. I had a dream of this mansion. I told you before that it was beautiful. I thought I was going to have this futuristic mansion, but it turns out it's all made of wood. And of course it would be. Jesus is a carpenter, but inside was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. When I walked out the front door, my mansion stood alone by itself. It was incredible. But when I went to the back door, there was this archway, and you could see into this mall. This mall. It was weird. And when you stepped through the doorway, you were in the mall. You could look back and see back into your home, but nobody else could unless you invited them in. And it's like now the back of your house is connected to everyone else. So I had asked the question before, like if I'm going to visit my friends, I mean the holy city when it sets down, or even up there, it's huge. How am I going to? I need a Busa. I need a Hayabusa. I'm going to drive my Hayabusa over to my friend's house, so I won't have to. All I have to do is walk out the back door into that mall, and my friend who's invited me over, his back door is right there, and I can go into his house. And when I walk out his front door, he'll be on a lake. And when I walk out my other friend's front door, his house will be on the ocean. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be incredible. So when we say we're trying to carry materialistic things there, we are materialistic. And honestly, God made all this material, and he made this planet. So I think that when we get there, there's going to be a lot of materialistic things. Not that we'll ever need them, but just, I mean, we're going to be one with God, right? We won't need any of this stuff. But then why did he say he was going to build a mansion for us? What was the point? You know, why did he say that? Why did he eat when he came here to see Thomas in the upper room? Why does he say that he goes to we're going to have this banquet with him? Why? Just because there's going to be material things there. Oh, that's sad. I hope CJ Lovick's not sick. Is he sick? That's sad. I hope he's okay. Let's see. I don't need a mansion, just need Jesus. And that's all we need. That's true. But I don't know if you could hug him for all eternity, though. I mean, we can hug him, but I don't think it's going to be a hug fest for all eternity. I think we're going to be coming back here for 1,000 years running things. I think we're going to be in charge down here. I think at the end of the millennium, when he wads up this planet and heaven, he's going to create a new heaven and a new earth, and he's going to set that holy city down in Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem, and it's going to be perfect. I think we're going to have the bride who will rule and reign over everything all the time. I think we're going to have the saints of the tribulation who are going to be there also ruling and reigning. And I think we're going to have the Jew who's going to continue to populate this entire vast universe. I think everything will be put into place to where you could go from sun to sun and you will see a different planet. Some planets rocks will float like we see on television. The imagination could just run wild with all of the things that we're going to see when we get there. It's going to be incredible. Let's see here. No, we're coming back here. Our mansions, the new heaven and new earth, our mansions that are created aren't just for 1,000 years; they're for all eternity. So they're going to set down in the new Jerusalem on the new earth, and whatever mansion you get, or however that is, will be yours for all eternity. It's not going to be destroyed. The only thing destroyed is the earth and the heaven, and then that mansion is going to set down onto the new earth, and we will be ruling over these people. But it'll be easy because they'll be perfect. They'll be human. They'll be having babies. We won't be, but they will be, and they will populate the entire universe. It will take 100 eternities to do that. It's so vast out there. It is so vast. Let's see here. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, you remember that. Oh, I don't know if you remember that or not. In my dream, when I got to the mansion, there were a bunch of toilets, but they were not functional. They were clean. They weren't dirty. They were just a bunch of them everywhere. I was like, what are all these toilets doing here? If they're not functional, what's the point of them being here? I told Spinebreaker, my friend, I have a feeling that just means that I will be in the bathroom when the rapture occurs. That's going to be embarrassing, right? Let your imagination run wild. Go ahead. Imagine all you possibly can about heaven and how fantastic and great it is. Let your imagination just flow with it. And God said, I don't care how much you imagine heaven will be like. When you get there, it will pale by comparison to any imagination you ever had about the glory of heaven that He has created for us. So go ahead, let your imagination run wild. You won't even come close to how fantastic it actually is. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't have no idea. Like I said, I have a feeling I'll be in the bathroom when it goes, hey DJ, DJ. He gets into the Discord. Did we put the Discord up here? We have nearly 1,800. Is it 1,800 or 2,000? We have a lot of subscribers in Discord, and a lot of. I have a room in there actually. Mine's built different than most Discords. We have a newsroom. Jean is out. She has had back surgery, and she's had to go in several times to repeat the surgery because I guess it's not taking or doing what it's supposed to do. She's been in a lot of pain, but she has run Discord like a champ for years. Sister Sandy's been in there helping. Sue as well. There's several mods in there that run it, and different points of view are accepted. I don't enforce anyone to buy into the timeline or anything like that. Thank you, Sister Sandy. I don't force everyone into my way of thinking. They go in there all the time and show me their timelines and everything. William Pierce, imagine going through all eternity having to tell people you were on the toilet. I know, when the rapture happens. Yeah, I don't know why all those toilets were there. That kind of made me nervous. No, yeah, I know, right? It sounds like Flushing. No, I'm out here in the secret broadcast cave, and we have 2 pumps. We live in Florida, so the water has a lot of sulfur in it. So one pump pumps it into a huge tank where it aerates the sulfur out, and the other pump pumps it into the house. Somebody in the house is taking a shower, so they're going to continue to go off. I apologize for that. I will get the Bluetooth hooked to the computer soon so that it will noise cancel most of that out, unlike it is now. All right. Wants a bacon tree? I already have my meal. When we get there, we're all going to sit down at this table, right? Remember this when you get there. It's very important. I read this in the Bible. I don't know exactly where it was. Maybe somebody knows where the verse is. But when you get there, don't choose the table closest to Jesus at the top. Don't be that prideful. I know some people are going to walk themselves right up to the front because they were chosen by God over everyone else to bring you this information, and they're just more than we are. They're just fantastic. They're going to walk to the front, and then they're going to call William Pierce and God's Land Down Under, and Watchman River, and Aaron from Christy from God a Minute is going to call them and say, oh, I'm going to need you to move back down. I need these people up here at the front. So I will always choose the lower seat, and if I've chosen correctly, that's where I will stay. If I have chosen incorrectly, God will move me to the top, Stop picking on Cool Cat. He's such a good, I just drives me insane. He's so on fire for the Lord. He's such a good researcher. I know he's saved, but for him to call anyone else's salvation into question because we don't quite understand this or understand that. He's been a Christian for over 30 years. You think he'd know better by now. Yeah, I did too. I had to unsubscribe. I don't watch his channel, and it's a shame because he really is a good researcher. If he could just stop. But if he misses a date, if that man misses a date, you better watch out. He came after Watchman River, the coolest guy on YouTube. Watchman River came after him. You got to be kidding me right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can stop screaming. The pumps went off. Probably for 2 minutes. All right. Let's see. All right. Stop picking on Corey. Let's talk about other things. Does anybody have any questions? Did you find a date that makes my timeline completely wrong and we need to throw it away? Did Brett go to sleep? God's Land Down Under? He's on the other side of the world. I think, wouldn't this be morning time for him? I think it would be morning time. Repo Man, Luke 14:10. All right, I can look it up on my phone. I can't do it on the computer yet till I fix the internet, but I'll do it here. Luke 14:10. Whoops. Hold on a second. Let's see, Luke 14:10. What do we got going on Luke 14:10? But when thou art bidden, go and sit down, and there you go. Thank you. That's the verse. Luke 14:10 is the verse. When you get to heaven, do not put yourself at the head of the line. That's what we see when we see people saying, God chose me to bring this information. No, he didn't. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Your little 10,000, 20,000 subscribers are not. I mean, and I appreciate every subscriber. Trust me, I love the subscribers. But I'm sorry, but no. Oh, it's 2:41 p.m. over there? Okay, thank you. Oh, in New Zealand, here in New Zealand, it's 4:41 p.m. Oh, it's in the afternoon for you. There he is. Oh, I lost that B-Dream post. DJ. Man, this thing's going fast. I lost it. I'm sorry. I don't know how to slow it down. Hey, Carrie Natural Bambi. She has a YouTube too. Somebody posts her link. Yeah, I know. He was mocking Watchman River. Listen, I don't know how you can mock somebody and then when somebody complains about it, suddenly they are mockers. I can't put that together in my head. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher. Then thou shalt have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. I will always try to... there's Carrie Natural Bambi's YouTube right there. Stay humble. It's for a selfish reason. Look, I stay humble for a selfish reason. I want to be called to the head of the table. That's terrible. I'm sorry. They will have to drag me to the front. I'm sitting down at the bottom. I did not see that military organizational plan for 2025. I did not see that. No, that's the strong point. That's why I watch a lot of other channels, is because they have a lot of strong points. Please pray for my wife, Karen. She has stage... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. There's a lot of prayer warriors we have a prayer room in the Discord, and or even really strong channels on prayer that will pray for you. And I believe in prayer wholeheartedly. I'm just not as good at it. That's not my strong point. It's not my part of the body. But yes, pray for Karen, and that pray to God that Karen gets better. Stage 4 cancer. That's rough. Pray we go home before anything happens. I really think it's soon. Did you really? Tim Roth had the same dream. Yes. That's why you don't have to jump in your car and drive 1,000 miles, because the city is huge. You don't have to drive 1,000 miles over to your friend's house. You just walk out the back door, and it's like a portal, right? And you're connected. It was the craziest dream. I was like, oh, that's how they're doing it. That's how God's going to do it. Just right out the back door. You thinking of going to your friend's house? Right out the back door, over to the next one. He's right there. It just made so much sense when I saw it. And again, I never even contemplated such a thing until I dreamed it. And I'm like, that made it totally understandable, So yeah, come into the Discord. If you need prayer, we have a prayer room and prayer warriors in the prayer room, in the Discord. Like I said, we have over, I think it's 1,800. I don't even know how many, 1,800 subscribers. It's growing all the time. Both pumps are going off. It's growing all the time, and they do such good work in there. I literally only have a room in there myself, and if you want to say something directly to me, or if you found a verse that says, hey, this verse says this, like, I lost it for a few minutes when somebody said, no, Elizabeth was in the 6th month when she was pregnant, and I went to reread it, and you have to go a verse back. She hid herself for 5 months, and in the 6th month, it wasn't the 6th month of the year. So I was like, whew, I thought I lost the timeline right there, but it worked. It still holds up. It can't be disproved yet. All right. 911 is September the 11th. I mean, that's 911. That is the beginning of creation. Creation began on September the 11th. And on September the 15th, time was created. I'm so sorry about the pumps. Time was created, and that would be the first day, September the 15th. Packed for the future. I did not know that. Yeah, it could be a carrying natural bounty. That could be a clue. The bright morning star disappearing. Definitely. My strength is timelines, not wrestling with angels. My understanding of that is you work out your salvation with fear and trembling. You don't assume anything. And I think that he was wrestling with the Spirit for a blessing. And that's what we do, don't we? We wrestle with God for a blessing to be saved. We work out our salvation with fear and trembling. We pray that we are accounted worthy to escape all these things. Oh, is DJ a prayer warrior? Are you? DJ's, yeah, he's in the Discord. I believe that's where I see him most of the time. I see a lot of you in other people's lives, and really enjoy them, and we watch them. So, you're right. There are no crowns in heaven for getting the calendar right. And no one will care when we get there. No, my goal mostly through the timeline has been the journey on the way there. And we read the Bible, study the verses, and you're correct. I am not going to get a crown for my timeline. Don't wrestle with angels, they ultimately win. Yep. Wow. Alrighty. I've been on here for I think a couple of hours now. I think. Is it an hour and a half, 2 hours? I don't even know. It's been a little while. So I am going to get off. It's getting cold out here. It's got to be like 55 degrees Celsius. I don't even, Fahrenheit, I mean. I don't even know Celsius. We don't know that over here in the United States. I don't even know why they did that. The whole world is on Celsius and we're on Fahrenheit. Almost 2 hours, thank you. Yeah, we get a crown for watching and trying to figure it out. You get a crown for taking the journey, right? It's been a long journey. Absolutely. A small heel. Maybe a little jewel in the crown for the timeline. Maybe. Can you imagine if I got it right, though? Jesus would be up there with his arm around me. This guy got it right. He figured it out. And I'm going to be like, that's not going to happen. That's literally not going to happen. But I think I'm pretty close. So you're welcome, Chi-Chi. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. I appreciate it. There's the Discord link again. Sister Sandy, you should put your website up there if you want to see the timeline. It's in the Discord. And if you don't like Discord, because I've heard that some people don't, you can go to her website and see the timeline if it's something you're interested in. If it's not, I would like anyone and everyone to study it just to see if you can find something that is inaccurate about it. Like I said, if you choose a calendar, go ahead. It doesn't matter to me. But just make certain that from whenever that calendar says the flood is, count 150 days, and if it doesn't land on the cross, you're on the wrong calendar. It must, because that's what that passage is about, 150 days. So, thank you. God bless you. God bless everyone. And I'm going to get off of here. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. And like I said, that with the 30 days, it's incredible how it lines up with March 16th. And I'm personally waiting for Patrick from End Times Watchman to make his video so I can see what he's concluded on that. He's been looking at March 16th. It might be Purim. Might be Purim on February the 29th. So we got February the 7th, February the 11th, February the 29th, March the 16th. So you're welcome, Mila. Thank you all for coming in. And it's like 50 something. It's not good weather. This is Florida. It should be 80. I should be out here sweating. So alrighty. Goodbye, everyone. We'll chat with you again later. Oh, let me do this.